If we're all gonna be completely honest, Disney has really been falling off the face of the planet recently when it comes to their newest releases. Ant-Man 3 completely flopped, The Marvels completely crashed, and it became the worst grossing Marvel movie of all time, and it lost millions of dollars. Even though those movies completely crashed in the box office, what is actually the worst Disney movie ever made? Some people might say it's the Planes movie, a film that Disney completely ripped off of one of their already existing movies. Or maybe you think it's Wish, a movie that was celebrating Disney's 100th anniversary, but it just ended up being an absolute disaster. But I think this one movie, everyone can agree that this movie is usually named as one of the worst Disney movies ever created. It has one of the worst ratings ever on IMDb, and it was already getting hate before it even came out, and that movie is... Now, I just recently watched this movie because it just recently started streaming, and yeah, honestly, this movie's as terrible as everyone says it is. It's just another lazy adaptation of one of their already existing classics, but this time it's somehow even worse. This movie is unbelievably boring with nothing interesting ever really going on, and I've never been a big fan of the original Snow White, but this movie just disappoints on every single level. First off, starting with Gal Gadot. Oh my goodness, Gal Gadot. I mean, I've never really found her to be that great of an actress, but this was just horrendous. I understand that as an actor, you just have to work with what you're given, and obviously this movie had a terrible script, but every single line delivery that she gives just feels so dull and lifeless. Her villain song was boring and uninteresting, and you can just tell that she probably had no interest in actually trying to make this movie. She ended up getting a lot of hate because of this movie, and listen, I don't wish hate against anybody, but yeah, her performance in this movie was just pretty atrocious. Then you had all the controversy with Rachel Zegler being an absolute menace off-screen and saying some pretty questionable things.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937. We absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not gonna be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be.
Despite all of this, she easily gives the best performance of this entire movie, and I think that she is genuinely trying to give a good performance, but then at the same time, she does stuff like this. Overall, she is actually a pretty decent Snow White. She acts kind and gentle and all the stuff that Snow White is supposed to be, so, I mean, yeah, good job. But now we are going to talk about what this movie is infamously known for, the dwarves. As you can see, these things are pretty hideous, and it's like a jump scare whenever one of them pops up on the screen. Not all the CGI is terrible in this movie. There are some cute animals that pop up here and there, but these are just disgusting creatures. They also have all these other characters that just randomly decide to show up who are all friends with this thief guy who Snow White has a crush on. And speaking of this guy who I can't remember his name for the life of me, the guy who played him was fine. I mean, not as terrible as Gal Gadot, but not very good either. Also, that one scene where Snow White is like dead or something and all the dwarves are surrounding her crying because they think she's dead, I mean, it's really just laughably terrible. Now, I'm not trying to be hating on this movie or anything. I'm sure there were some very talented people behind the camera, but it's just... okay, I mean, never mind. I probably am just hating like crazy.